Hi, welcome back to Bots Delights. There's been quite a lot of games themed around Mars and Mars exploration recently. The one I want to show you today is called Mission to Mars 2049, and it's more of a family game, a gateway game, something a little less complex, something a little bit more easygoing than some of the other games you might have seen recently. I would put it in that more kind of family game genre, appealing to all ages, something not too deep, quite quick to play. The game plays 2 to 4. There isn't a solitaire or a co-op variant. It is competitive. I'm going to recommend higher player counts for this one. If you can get 4, in fact anything below 4, yeah, it's not such a good game with fewer players. And the reason why is that there's different starting points here on the map of Mars. It's fantastic looking components, really great. But you're going to be tracing a route from your start point to the polar ice cap here to mine the water, okay, that's sitting here. Now, while you're doing this, the only way you're going to get lots of player interaction is if there's a higher player count and you're kind of interfering with each other a little bit. Without that, it's kind of a little bit more, multiplayer solitaire, if you like. It's kind of the 3 R's. You've got race, resource, and route. Okay. If anything, it's less resource and more economic. You're going to be building up, industrial plants and so on here to support the resource production you need to lay down a track to get to this pole. Alright, so there's not a great deal of interaction unless you've got that higher player count. So there's my recommendation. So I'm not going to give you a playthrough based on 4 player count being the right player count, but I'm going to show you how this one plays, and then hopefully you can make a decision about whether you feel this is a good fit for you, your game group, your family. It's 2049. The future of Mars is determined by the people who are the first to exploit the polar ice cap. The first colony to build an H2O extraction station on the ice cap will be the first true colonizer of Mars. If you're playing 3-player, then the game does try to change the setup a little bit for the beginning of the game. So this is my starting point in a 2 or 4-player game, these 4 spaces. In a 3-player game, then we shift so that we're each in 1/3 of the game board, okay? So I'm just going to show you how things play out, just for 1 player, how things work, just from the perspective of the green player here. The resources that are available to us are air, minerals and food. We start the game with 2 of these. And we're going to be using those resources to build stations. We've got laboratories, roads and the H2O station, the water station itself up on the polar cap. We start the game with each of these different stations. These are the things that kind of generate the resources for us. So we've got an air station, food and mineral station, plus a base here. Right, this is our starting base. We begin with each one of these stations. So we've got a basic economy going already when we land, and there's a starting configuration for each one of these. So we've got an air station here, a food station to the right, and then a mineral station at one point forward. What you'll see is that on the board is this kind of grid, if you like, and each one of these is a point on that grid, and these are places where you can build bases and stations and your roads. This reference guide is going to help you. It shows you what cards you need to build each thing. Alright, we've got missions here as well. We'll talk about those in a second, but remember, this is the ultimate goal, the road to the H2O station and the H2O station itself, and it takes quite a lot of resources, so you've really got to build up and pump up your economy to get these resources. Alright, let's see what a game turn looks like. On your turn you start by rolling this custom die. Let's do that. Okay, so we've got air that we've rolled. A little bit like Settlers of Catan, it's not just you. When you roll the die that receives resources, if you roll the air symbol here, then all air stations are going to produce air. Okay, for each one on the map we get an air. Same for food and minerals. Okay, so that's all players, even on your turn. What are the other 3 faces? We've got this one here which says skip a turn. Bad weather's forcing us to stand still. Okay, we can't do any other actions, and we give up the die and we give it to the next player. This one is the robbery. If you roll the robbery, you choose an opponent and you steal a resource card from them. Okay, you do that blindly, so you don't get to see you don't get to see. So they'll do something like this, hold out their cards, you draw one, steal it. Okay, you've stolen the mineral, that kind of thing. Alright. The last side is discovery. This is a diamond icon. There we go. This time nobody gets any production apart from you, and you can take any one type you wish. Food, mineral, air. Now obviously you can see if you're the one building lots of stations, then when these things roll, you're going to be the one taking the most resources. After rolling the die, then you're taking actions. And one of those actions is trade resources. Okay? You can trade, and this is the basic exchange rate is 4 of one kind for 1 of any other. So I've got lots of air, I don't have any minerals, I can swap 4 air for 1 mineral. Grab it from the supply, discard, put back in the supply the 4 air. Okay? Now you can improve on that, and you can improve on that by building laboratories. You've only got 2 laboratories. The first laboratory you build is the 3 laboratory. Once you've built the 3, you can now exchange 3 cards for 1. Okay, 3 air instead of 4 air for any 1. 3 minerals for 1 food, whatever your exchange rate you want. The exchange rate goes down from 4 to 3. And then once you've built the 3, you can then build the 2. Okay, once you've built the 2, then the exchange rate goes down to 2. Alright, now here's the costs for laboratories. It costs 4 food and 3 minerals to build one of these laboratories. What's important is when you're building stuff, and that's the second action you can take, building stuff, and you're building more bases, stations, resource stations, or laboratories, you pay the cost. So I might start by, remember you start with 2 of each, so let's say I want to start by building some minerals, or food. Food's always good. Alright, so food station, I need 2 air and 2 minerals. I'll discard those. And after rolling the die, okay, and executing this die, you can take as many actions as you want. So trade as many as you want, build as many as you want, buy cards, and we'll show you that in a minute. So I've just paid for a food station. Okay. The important thing is you can only build on an intersection, when we talked about intersections, around a base. Okay, now that's diagonal as well. So at the moment, the points that are open to me for building are this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Right, this is the point. Okay, so these are the only 2 open spaces. So I can build here, or I can build here. So let's put him here. Now you can see it's important that you keep a route of bases open. And you're going to want this route to take you all the way to the pole. You can only build next to a base. Alright, so adjacent or diagonally adjacent. Whether it's a base, a research station, a laboratory. Only next to a base. Okay, I don't have any more resources to do anything else. Well, I could build a mineral station. But if I build a mineral station here, then I've blocked my progress. I can't now place a base, because everything has to be placed next to a base. So what do I do if I want to now place a base? I have to take something off. So I might have to take this off. I don't get the resources back and then build. Do you see? So be careful you don't trap yourself in. You're just wasting resources. There's no refunds for destroying one of these stations or anything else to make way for another base. So there's nothing really I want to do on my turn. Let's end my turn. Now the turn passes. Other players will be rolling their dice, taking their actions, building stuff. Okay, then the turn will come back to me and let's roll again. Okay, we got a thief. Let's assume then that I stole some air. Okay, now I've got 3 air, 2 food. Now any time you can always swap these cards in. If you don't want to get your hand cluttered with cards, you can always exchange 3 cards for one of these 3 tokens. And there's also 8 tokens, and there's 1 for each one of these different types. Once you swap cards for a token, if somebody rolls the thief, they can't steal tokens, they can only steal cards. Now you've only got 2 cards to steal. Okay. The downside is you don't get any change from spending these. So if I want to spend this as 3 air, then it counts as 3 air. If I want to spend 2 air, then I have to spend the whole 3. I don't get any change. Alright, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do now as my next action is take a peaceful mission card. So 3 air and 1 food. Okay, we'll hand in those resources, and we'll take one of these peaceful mission cards. Right, this one is a resource mission. And these are the things that add depth to the game. Right? Everything you've seen now is pretty straightforward, right? So let's have a look at these missions. This one says, you found an abandoned resource truck on one of your missions. Take 2 air resource, 2 food cards and 2 mineral cards from the bank. This card can be used now or later. So again, you can put these in your hand, keep them safe, and just use them when you want to use them. These cards can be the key to winning and losing the game. You can see that I've exchanged, what did it cost? It cost me 3 air and 1 food, and I've got, in return, 2 air, 2 food and 2 mineral. The peaceful missions allow you to progress more quickly. The aggressive ones will help you slow down your opponents. Sorry, that's a road card. This is the aggressive ones. These are road cards. We'll come to those in a minute. Okay, so aggressive missions, things like this. This one says grand theft. Your spies have broken into an enemy warehouse. Choose a player and draw 3 resource cards from him or her, stealing 3 cards from an enemy. Do you see? What about these roads? Sorry, these are the roads. You'll notice that in order to get the H2O station, we need to build a road to the centre, and this is going to cost 3 road cards. If you roll the diamond, then instead of taking food, minerals or air, you can take 1 road card. Remember, we're looking for 3 roads. Alright, so once we've got progress up to the middle, then we need to build a road, and a road costs 3 of these cards. So we're going to collect them by rolling diamonds, and once we've built our road, then with 8 air, 8 food, 8 minerals, which you can safeguard by changing into these tokens, so no one can steal them, then you can build your H2O station and win the game. Road cards can't be stolen. You'll see they've got different backs, okay? So regular resource cards. You just keep these face up on the table, everyone can see everyone's progressing towards getting the 3 road cards that you need. The only other way to get roads is to buy them from the bank. So you can buy them just like you can other resources. Alright, so that default exchange rate at the start of the game is 4 resources for 1 resource. You can swap 4 air, 4 minerals, 4 food for 1 road card. Build your laboratories, and then you can get, 3 for 1, 2 for 1. Roads become cheaper. So that's how the game is played. Let's just play a couple more turns and we'll see how this thing goes. So we'll keep hold of this. I think we have roll the die. Skip a turn, that's no good to me. Okay, minerals. So we've got 1 mineral station, we take 1 mineral card. So let's swap this in. 2 air, 2 food, 2 minerals. Let's just keep rolling. Alright, that's air. So I've got 1 air station, so I get another air. I could buy a peaceful mission. Let's do that. Just see what comes up. This one says protection. A friendly satellite is helping you protect your enemy moves. This card will protect you once against an enemy's aggressive mission card. Alright, so we keep that safe. Bank it. Alright, diamond now. Okay, let's grab another air. Keep rolling. Another diamond. We'll grab another air. Air, just 1. Come on, we need a food. Another air. Let's say we roll the food. Okay, let's roll the food. We get 2 food. 2 food. Alright, now we get the now we can build a base. So it's 3 air, 3 food, 3 minerals. Build a base. Right, now that opens things up a little bit, because now we can build in these spots as well. See? And you can see how, do you see how you're kind of drifting around? I mean, it depends how you play. You could play like like this and kind of wander off into other players' zones, or you could play more up the middle. Players tend to play more up the middle. Do you see? And that's it. That's how it plays. So it's all about building that route, managing those resources, building that economy. That's what it's all about. So production values are really good. Not a great deal of depth to the gameplay. You've got to make those decisions about how you want to spend your resources most effectively. Watch what your opponents are doing and use these aggressive cards and peaceful cards, because they can really, really help you. That's Mission to Mars 2049. Thanks for watching. See you next time.